Primal Chaos. Hey guys, Primal Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. This one today, Imminence, Heaven Shall Burn, comes all the way over from my Discord channel. It was recommended by Andy over there, who says that this is a bit of a banger, so I definitely need to check it out. That said, I don't know anything about this band. At first, I thought it was Heaven Shall Burn. I think that's a band name. But then I realized it's Imminence is the band. Heaven Shall Burn is the title of the track. But other than that, I've got no concept. I feel like it could be anywhere from metalcore, symphonic metal, something like that, just by looking at the thumbnail. But I mean, I've been way wrong in the past. So if you have any information about Imminence that you feel like I should know, or if there's any amazing songs that I needed to check out, definitely hit me up in the comments. And also at this point, I just like to bring up, if you want to help me out, I want to do a lot more with this channel. I want to do moving into things like podcasting and interviews and things like that. And I can't do that without your help. I need the clout. I need to have numbers so that people will take me seriously when I hit them up for an interview. So I beg you, if you do appreciate this reaction and you feel like I'm ticking the boxes for you, it'd be so helpful if you could just hit follow and hit the bell. That will help me no end. Without further ado, let's jump straight in. I haven't got much more to talk about because I really have no background information on this one. I don't know where to start. I typically don't like to research bands that I've never heard of because it taints the reaction a little bit. And I like to, specifically like first-time reactions with a band, I like them to be as raw as possible for you guys. So here we go. Imminence, Heaven Shall Burn. Okay, wow, that's deeply cinematic. Okay. Kind of got a bit of a Camelot vibe. Different rhythms, but kind of like Camelot. Is that the singer who's playing violin? I guess it is. Oh, I like that. So far, wow, this has really been interesting. Okay, so I kind of get it now. They're more sort of, I guess, metalcore. Again, I'm new to all these genres and stuff like that. As of 12 months ago, I was new to this sort of stuff, but I'm sort of getting more of a handle on it. But it seems more metalcore, whereas like, you know, someone like Camelot is more like your symphonic metal. This is a little bit more leaning into the aggressive, but there's a lot of similar concepts from, you know, bands like this and, you know, Nightwish and Epica and things like that. But I feel like this is kind of leaning a little bit more into the Brutality. So yeah, it's interesting. Tell me where these guys like classically fit genre-wise. Like if you've seen my channel at all, you know I'm not a huge fan of like labeling anyone with specific genres. It just is helpful, I guess, in a way to categorize things. First of all, the voice, great aggressive sort of like a fry scream kind of voice. But what I noticed is through the verses, it's just like a pure fry scream. But it's funny, when he gets into the chorus, he's like dangerously close to singing. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of almost like I was expecting, what's that song? Worst is yet to come. Is it Still Remains? They have the same sort of vibe where they're like, you know, because they got a keyboard player who does a lot of string work. And they've got the aggressive verses, who I believe may be the guitar player doing the screaming. But then when the chorus kicks in, it's just this big melodic vocal. And interestingly enough, there's kind of melody here. This could be sung, right? You can hear the melodies. That layering there is really cool too. It's brutal as hell. Like this is all double tracked, but then they have like all of those extra vocals come through, sort of panned about here, like not right in the center, like just spread out just a little bit to make it sound wide and thick, but not broadly wide and thick. The other thing too is the guitar player here in the intro. I think he's playing some sort of a Fender, that main riff. Where was it? This one. Yeah, what is that? A Jaguar or something? Oh no. Okay, so it's not a Fender at all, but it's interesting because it's got that sort of like almost single coil pick guard sort of sound that has like this woody sort of hollow lowness to it. That's, you know, normally with metalcore guitars, it's really high end. Like an example would be, so you can have a tone like, say for example, it's kind of edgy and more aggressive, but then you can have a timbre that's more, it's a bit woodier. It's not as focused, right? And even if I change like a single coil pickup, you know what I mean? Compare that to two completely different sounds, and the second one there is definitely more along the lines of what you're chasing with like metalcore. But this guy's got this completely unique sounding sort of flavor there, which is interesting because especially when you've got, I assume this, I thought I saw two guitar players there. Maybe it's just the trick of the music video. But typically when you double track guitars, the idea is you'll just get a guitar, record it, pan it left, guitar, pan it right. You might have a little bit of variation. You might not, depending on what you do. If the band has two guitar players, usually they'll have their own little rhythmic spins on what they're doing. But when you have two completely different timbres, it adds to the color of the overall sound, like the timbre of the song. And that's super interesting because typically with bands like this, they'll attract guitarists who kind of often like the same sort of sound. And the fact that they're so wildly different is, it's just a cool little idiosyncratic thing of this band, I guess. Sounds like real strings in the recording too. I mean, I'm assuming if the singer plays violin, he'd use real strings. Such an odd tone. I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. There's a vocal in there too, I think. Yeah, there is. There's some sort of at the end there. But the I'm trying to think if it's just a straight up synth sound that's got like a, there's a plugin called Volcano that you can get that has, it takes your audio and it just puts it through a whole bunch of really nasty filters, and you can really mess with the sound and get those weird rhythmic sort of sort of things in there. It sounds a little bit like they've taken like a regular synth sound and done that, or maybe strings. But if you listen real close towards the end, there's definitely some sort of a vocal. Such a big mix. There you go, perfect example. You can hear that guitar is panned left in the mix. So if you ever want to hear what that guitar's doing, just listen to the left side and you can hear. The time has come to wait as one. And you can hear the distinct timbres, right? You've got this really sort of open, sort of chuggy sort of thing over here. And then over this side, you got more of like a focused, high energy kind of as opposed to, you know? And you can hear it clear as day in that part there because they're alternating. The suffering has just begun. Oh. When all hope is gone and the end is nigh, the sound of 1,000 cries tonight. Benefit of having a violin player.
There's no finding a remedy to the dark that festers in my heart.
Uh-oh. You should never draw blood on a seal, brother. You know this. Wow, okay. Oh. That was a great growl. Oh man, his timbre's completely changed now. Right on. Wow. Okay, hang on. I just want to jump back there. I mean, if you listen to... That's way up there. Sorry, you're going to have to excuse me. I'm coming down from having a pretty bad flu. Whew. But then versus that vocal there. Which is just your high fry. But then compare that to here. That's drawn way down lower into like... more open, sort of like less sort of squeezed and high and more down and low. But that long growl, where was that? It's almost getting into Alex Terrible territory, but not quite as low. You know what I mean? It doesn't have that same fat resonance. But it's definitely similar technique going on there. You can hear it. Down there, like lower than that. But the it's interesting too because it's double tracked and it just makes it sound fat, right? Yeah, this is definitely cool, man. That is such a cool track. So what do you say about this? I think it's a cool amalgamation of your symphonic elements. Having a vocalist who's a stringed instrument player is definitely the cornerstone of the sound of this band, right? At least from what I can hear right in this track. It's my one sampling of the band, so excuse me if I'm wrong. But it's just super interesting because they sort of straddle that line between, you know, I mean, I know you get bands like Falling in Reverse now that are sort of doing a lot of that sort of, you know, the aggressive finale breakdown thing, big orchestral movements and strings and lots of complex guitar parts and stuff. So it's become kind of a subgenre within itself. And this is definitely sort of falling into that category. There's an inherentness to it in this band because they sort of come from a place of understanding how the concept of like, you know, orchestrated metal, right? Or, you know, having traditional stringed instruments in their sound as opposed to just some synth chords and stuff layered underneath. Definitely interesting. I definitely am a fan of the voice. I think the mix is great. It's a big, giant, fat mix. Lots of low end, but still quite a lot of definition along, you know, between all the frequency range. I'm a fan. Tell me if there's any more of these guys that I need to check out as well, because I'd be interested in hearing sort of other directions they go in, or if this is kind of like their staple sort of sound. Anyway, that's about all I got to say. If you feel like I've brightened your day at all, feel free to support the channel just by buying me a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description. Like, share, follow. I'm doing my best to sort of raise my profile a little bit in recent times because there's a lot more I want to do with this channel outside of reactions. And the best way to do that is to have a little bit of clout. And I get that through people clicking follow and hitting the bell. And I know that's a lot to ask, but if you feel like, you know, you appreciate the kind of reactions I do, that's the best thing you can do to help me out. I really appreciate it. 98% of the people who watch my channel aren't subscribed. So if every little click helps, I know it doesn't seem like much, but it helps me to more than you know. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate you all. Thanks for sticking around. Stay primal, and I'll catch you in the next one.